Hey gang, this is the 2014 Aloha Clinic training video series on helmet plays. We're going to cover helmet off, targeting, and non-targeting plays. I want you to keep in mind that these are opinions and the videos are to be used to develop discussion and defer to your association for interpretations as far as rules are concerned. Alright, let's get into helmet off, play number 1. This play involves the center, number 77. He's engaged by the nose guard, and there may be some illegal pulling or tugging, but let's just talk about helmet off. You can see that it comes off, the defender disengages, he takes a couple of steps toward the action. But when he is disengaged, he stops. The runner's down, then he takes a couple of steps in the direction. This is not illegal participation. He did just what he's supposed to do. Once he disengages from the act he's involved in, then he does not participate. So that's a good no call. Helmet off play number 2 is a return man who loses his helmet as part of the process of going to the ground on a tackle out of bounds. Now there are 3 things that should stop the clock on this play. 1, player out of bounds. 2, play dead after a change of possession. And 3, player loses his helmet. So wherever a player loses his helmet, whether he's in the field or out of bounds, we're going to shut it down. And when we shut it down, we want our officials to recognize the player who lost his helmet as part of that continuing action. By rule, he's out for a play. Stop it and announce it so that the players and the coaches and the officials understand that number 9 is not coming back in. Now this is the next play. We did not go through that process as it was a new rule. We're still kind of working it out. And you can see that number 9 participated. But I think by stopping every play, announcing that number, we can eliminate the player participating after losing his helmet. Helmet off play number 3 is a player who loses his helmet from the kicking team and then he participates in the play. You can see K20, I've got him highlighted right here. He's rolling on the ground. He loses his helmet probably right after that, but he shows back up again here. Here he is without his helmet. We lose him again in some of this action, but we pick him back up here without his helmet. And he's not really doing anything here, but he is pursuing a little bit, and then 40 nudges him. I don't think that act right there by 40 nudging him as he comes in from the corner of his eye constitutes illegal contact. But as you see player number 20 from the kicking team come in here, he's clearly up on his own without a helmet, and he attempts to make a tackle. That is a foul for illegal participation. There again is the bump by number 40. Back it up again, take another look at it. He's moving toward 40. 40 doesn't see him. A little turn and a bump. Not really enough for me to consider that illegal contact. Helmet off play number 4. Number 77 of the defense loses his helmet, probably illegally. And you guys can talk about how that relates to enforcement. But what we're going to talk about is participation and illegal contact. The helmet foul, you can worry about that on your own. But what we have is they're still maintaining contact. He's without a helmet. Even this spin and turn, all this contact, to me is okay. But when he peels off of 66, he immediately has become a participating player in pursuit of the runner. So it's an interesting play. Watch it from the end zone. Number 66, he's got him. Double, now back to single, helmet off. Still maintaining a full body contact, even on the turn and the twist. But when 77 now turns, and 63 dips and blocks, I think you got 2 fouls. You've got illegal participation for 77's pursuit, and 63 does shoulder dip block him, creating an illegal contact foul. Helmet off play number 5 is a play where a player loses his helmet, maintains contact with the ball carrier, and completes the tackle. So this would not be a foul. You don't expect that a player who loses his helmet in the act of making a tackle is going to disengage from that tackle and remove himself from the play. So this is a perfectly legal play. You can see the quarterback scrambling around. 63 has him. He never loses control of him, maintains grip of that foot, and eventually is able to pull him down. Even though he doesn't have a helmet, he never lost control of the runner. Helmet off play number 6 is another kickoff play, and we see a lot of helmets off on kickoffs. But there's a player on the kicking team who loses his helmet after contact and then tries to get to the runner. He doesn't contact the runner and he ends up harmlessly sliding to the ground. But this is illegal participation. I'll show you why from the end zone view. We'll highlight the player in red pants and white shirt coming down the field. He's contacted here. Legal enough contact. Helmet comes off. And then he pursues that runner, and the runner jukes him. So he is participating right here, affecting the play, which makes that an illegal participation foul against the defense. Quick clarification on helmet off play number 7. I mentioned in this clip that there's 2-minute break between quarters. That's because we made an agreement during the playoffs with television to allow a 2-minute break. Play number 7 has a helmet that comes off on the last play of the first quarter of number 23 of the defense. So when his helmet comes off, and he's highlighted right here, I put an arrow on him, he's got to leave for a play. Well, the offense allows the first quarter clock to run out. You can see it ticking down, 9, 8, 7. Well, when we come back, 23 is back on the field. And after the play is over, 23 is flagged for illegally participating on this down. Now, technically that's correct, but it should never happen. We know 23 is supposed to be out for a play. If he comes back out during that dead ball period, which is an extended dead ball period because it's a change of quarter, we've got a full 2 minutes, we need to make sure that he gets back off of the field so that we don't have to enforce this type of penalty. Administratively, we have tons of time to take care of this. Referee, announce those numbers, stop the clock, announce the number that his helmet came off, he will be out for a play. And then you can lift the ball up and say that's the end of the first quarter. That should correct it. But everybody needs to know that we shouldn't be allowed to have that guy tagged with a 15-yard penalty when we can control his return. Helmet off, play number 8. The player's in the box, offense on the left, defense on the right. The defender is held. And when he's taken to the ground, he loses his helmet. Now he gets up and he's participating. At this point, he was already out of the play. He cannot come back and make this tackle. Dives and misses. He's already committed a penalty. Now he's back into the action again, and guess what? Somebody hits him. So not only do we have an offensive holding foul against the offense and illegal participation against the defense, but now we have a personal foul against the offense again for hitting this guy who's pursuing the play and participating. And we have to decide now, is that live ball or dead ball? So there's a lot of discussion and a lot of things that need to be figured out before we can make this enforcement happen. But please don't forget that if he's participating without a helmet, they're prohibited from blocking him or contacting him in a football-related manner.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Holding on the offense, illegal participation on the defense, fouls offset, replay the down.
Helmet off play number 9 is our last one of the day, and we've got a kicking team in blue that comes firing down the field. There's a collision, loses his helmet. He then goes after the runner, illegally pursues him by participating, and makes the tackle. Now, the kick is over. So when this player loses his helmet, it's basically a defensive player, even though it's the kicking team. So the enforcement has to come from the end of the run. The spot where he lost his helmet or participated has nothing to do with it. So here's the collision. I'd also like you to watch number 74 and 14. 74 comes in, clobbers 14 after the play is over. So basically what we're going to have is we're going to have a 15-yard enforcement from the end of the run, which is about the 10. So that's going to take it out to the 25. And then the dead ball foul by the receiving team, number 74, is going to be enforced half the distance to the 12.5. So it's going to take some coordination between the officials and good communication. Now it's time to talk about some targeting plays. Targeting play number 1 is an example of a spear. Now I like the fact that we're using targeting as a language now. When you look at it from this sideline, it doesn't look too bad. Looks like the tackler is a little bit low. I'd like to back up on that little act though after the tackle. Anytime a defender makes a big hit like that and gives the crybaby signal while he's standing over a receiver, that is taunting. Now let's get back to the hit. You can see that he drives into the receiver with the crown of his helmet. Let's look at it again and stop it at the stop point. We can identify this from a side judge or field judge position when we lose the head. You can see we lost it. He's in an inline position, so you know that he crown of the helmet, hit him right below the shoulder, which is a targeting foul. Targeting play number 2 is a blindside block. And we're talking about defenseless players. This is one of them, a blindside block. Player who can't see the contact coming. And anytime you have a change of side of the field play, you're going to have an opportunity for a blindside block. Any kind of delay or move from left to right or right to left, you really have to be cognizant of something like this happening. So here we have a stop frame, and we know who the person who's most suspect is. The guy coming in to peel off the tackler. He's got a midsection target zone that he can focus on, and he chooses to, in complete control, go helmet to helmet, turn the guy's head sideways, hit him with full velocity, tumbling him over. To me, this is not only targeting, it's flagrant targeting and should result in a disqualification. Targeting play number 3 is a player who's defenseless because he's wrapped up. You can see he's a runner here. He gets wrapped up by 3 guys pretty quickly. And then the 4th guy comes in and lowers his head and spears him in the head. So you can see he's wrapped up, and then you see that spear right there. Let's watch it again in slow motion. And this one I consider flagrant because he's held up, goes in, spearing motion, lowers his helmet right into the guy's chin, and launches up with an upward thrust. All of this combined, to me, makes this a flagrant foul.
Personal foul, illegal helmet contact, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Targeting play number 4 is a hit on a receiver. This is a very typical type of targeting play that we're going to see, and that the defender, who has an opportunity to get lower and should, and even though the receiver does crouch slightly, still defenseless, which means you can't shoot for the head, you can see the defender, initial contact is helmet to helmet. Even though it's not a spear, this is still a foul. And you can see some intent there where he follows through with that arm high, even though he misses on that swing that would have resulted in contact with the helmet. This is a good call. Targeting play number 5 involves a quarterback hit, and it's not a late hit, it's just a helmet-to-helmet hit, and that does have an application with the new terminology in the rule book this year. You can also see that we've got a defensive player down without a helmet, so we've got multiple things to consider. Here's the rush, hit on the quarterback, helmet to helmet, helmet to face mask. So that is going to be a roughing the passer by way of illegal helmet contact, and we are going to tack that on to the end of this run. We're also going to have number 8 for the defense out for a play. So since the run was ended at the 43, we're going to tack the 15 yards on to the 28. It'll be 1st and 10 for the offense, and the B player number 8 has to sit out. Targeting play number 6 is hitting a defenseless player because the play's over. He's just standing around the pile. We also call that pile picketing, but in this case, it's targeting. Watch 16. Player comes in, helmet to helmet, just creams him. And you can see this little chicken crap dance he does afterwards. That's also taunting. So if you want to put 2 fouls on that, you can. But I would eject this player because he does aim high, target him helmet to helmet, and the player is completely defenseless, standing there in a dead ball posture. Targeting play number 7 is another one of the dead ball targeting plays, and this one is more in the striking category, although it does fall under targeting now. You can see number 82, and we'll back this up and take another look at it. When he's done with the play, he shoots his helmet into the other player's helmet. That is a targeting foul, and if you deem it to be striking, it's disqualification as well.
After the play, personal foul on the offense, half the distance, down is 2.
Targeting play number 8, I'm going to introduce a term that we're going to call illegal tracking. And you can see the running back is going down, and then a player kind of submarines and goes in there. We can't see what happens on that first view. But we can see what happens on this view, where you can see number 10 of the defense, who clearly has control of what he's doing, but the runner, who is being drug and driven to the ground, and technically down by contact with his knee on the ground, has no control over where he is. Number 10 then lowers his head, illegally tracks the target zone of the runner who's in control and possession of the defense so that he can hit him in the head and neck area. That is targeting a defenseless player. Please don't confuse illegal tracking with a position change or what we used to call a compressed target. Play number 9, the last of our targeting plays, is another illegal tracking play. I put it on last year's video and it's been used by others, but it's just a good example of it. You've got a runner who's going to the ground, he's been contacted by another defender, and the second defender coming from the right chooses to track that player at a low level, at or about the knee level, and track his helmet into that player's helmet or neck area. So that illegal tracking results in targeting and is a foul. Alright, now let's start talking about plays that are not targeting. And we used to call them illegal helmet contact. We're just going to call them targeting. This was called targeting. It is not. You can see that the defender who's legally tracking, because the runner is upright, he's legally tracking to get to the hip. He's going low and the runner goes low on him. There is some contact with the helmet. It doesn't appear to be helmet to helmet, but we have to be cognizant that this is not a defenseless player, and if he puts himself into a position where it looks like helmet contact, we might have to have a discussion with another person on the field to see exactly what might have happened. Not targeting, play number 2, is a running back who comes out of the backfield. There's a defender there who's in a low side posture, and the running back just dips and creates a helmet contact. This is a correct no call, and you can see it here again in slow motion. Running back dips, but the defender's posture is perfect. Correct no call. Not targeting, play number 3, I have in here because this is a great job of crew communication. You can see a defender come in here and targeting is called by the referee. But the back judge comes in and he says he did not hit him in the helmet. He did not use his helmet. He came in to see him touch his shoulder there. This is not a foul. And this is what we want guys doing. We want you comfortable communicating on the field so that we can get the ones right that we need to get right, and we can pick up the ones that maybe we misinterpreted. Not targeting, play number 4, is interesting because the defender slipped, putting him in a low position, as the blocker was going low to block him to spring for additional yards. So these are the two that are involved. The player in white's on defense, and he slips at the last second just as the defender is getting low, not too low, so he doesn't have a low block, but low enough to make a legal block, and the defender slips down. The referee incorrectly calls this illegal helmet contact, even though there was some incidental contact. The defender's just trying to get to the side and put a legal block on this guy that slipped into a position that doesn't allow a lot of room for it. Very good play to discuss.
Personal foul, illegal helmet contact, offense, 15-yard penalty, second down.
Not targeting, play number 5, is one of those plays where you have a receiver out in the open and the defenders are learning that they need to keep their head up and get it to the side. In this case, the defender did do everything right and the official called him for targeting incorrectly. Watch the defender come in. He's got his shoulder below the level of the shoulder of the receiver. He's got his head up and to the side, and you can see some recoil on the receiver's helmet, indicating it wasn't initially forcefully contacted from the front. So I know it's going to be difficult, and some of these are hard to interpret at full speed, but I think the more that we go over some of these films and some of the key indicators to look for when you watch these contacts at full speed, then we may be able to start distinguishing what are and are not targeting. The other thing is, if we talk to the other officials on the field, maybe they can help us out, as we saw in an earlier play. Not targeting, play number 6, may be a little controversial, but I don't think so. You've got a running back who's running up the field and a defender who's basically running in the same direction that he is and tries to get in front of him and cut him down. And the running back dips just as the defender dips. There is no question helmet contact, but the defender is trying to get lower than the runner, and the runner puts his helmet into him. So very difficult to call this targeting.
I don't know. Who should that be called on?
Not targeting, play number 7, is a pass to the flats that was called targeting. It was called by the wing official, and I can see why he called it from his position with the runner being spun around and all kinds of things happening. But there are no targeting indicators on this play, and we would hope that the back judge or the umpire could help pull him off of this. If you had a deep wing official and a 7-man mechanic or a 6-man where you got deep wings, that might be a position that could help as well. Not targeting, play number 8. Again, a receiver going straight down the field. I think the defenders are getting the picture, and that he's definitely defenseless. He's stretched out. Ball's coming in. The timing is right, and the defender just puts his shoulder right into the midsection, and that's perfect. That's perfect legal tracking. You're tracking the midsection, or you're tracking the hip, or you're tracking underneath the shoulder. That's just a great job by the defense of having legal contact on a receiver. Not targeting, play number 9, is not illegal tracking. So it's not illegal helmet contact or targeting. The fact that the runner is not defenseless makes him a little less of a target for that sort of thing. He's a running back. He compresses his target or he position changes. There's no indication of a spear or intent to use the helmet or hit into the head or neck area to create an illegal act. So we just need to be careful on these types of plays.
Helmet contact. Defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
You know what? That's a serious.
Not targeting, play number 10, and the last one we have is a run up the middle. And as soon as everybody sees this view, they yell, targeting. And then we break this video down. So you may have a flag come in from the wings, but let's watch it from the quarterback's viewpoint. Little less like targeting from that angle. Let's look at it from the side. Looks pretty good. Head up, shoulder. And from the back judge's view, really just a perfect technique. His head's up, face mask hits his shoulder a little bit, but that is just good football. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry the videos are late this year. Have a great season.
If you got